Hello friends, welcome to class 3. So as last class we saw a list of cost accounting standards, and today we will start with each and every cost accounting standards going forward. So today's topic is on CAS-01 classification of cost. Okay, so as mentioned in earlier classes that you should remember the title of cost accounting standards with its number, because 2 to 3 marks will be tested in objective MCQ types or objective type of question. So CAS-01 is classification of cost, and to start with this topic, basics you should know, like definitions. So definition of cost: cost is a measurement in monetary terms of the amount of resources used in manufacture of product or services. So cost is a measurement in monetary terms. Monetary terms means money, anything in money. So it is a measurement in money of what? Of amount of resources used. Resources may be material, labor, wages, etc. etc. So all the cost incurred in the manufacture of product or providing services is a cost to the company. Then what is cost center? So cost center is any unit of entity selected with a view to accumulate all costs under that unit is a cost center. So unit of entity means department, division, section. Here department means sales department, production department. Likewise, division means finance department, finance division will be there, sales will be there, purchase will be there. Likewise, section will also be there in each and every company depending upon the background. So here I have just given one example. Production department is there in one company, and all the cost incurred in such department is called as production overhead. So here production department is a cost center, and all the cost incurred in that is called as production overhead. Okay, there are types of cost center as well, so let's see these types. So first, cost center is divided into two: personal, impersonal cost center. Personal cost center refers to a person or group of person. Impersonal cost center refers to other than person or group of person. That is, person or a group of person means human resources. Other than person or group of person means physical resources. Okay, so here man, machine. Further, it is divided into two: operating cost center, support service cost center. Operating cost center is otherwise known as production cost center. Okay, production cost center. And support service cost center, old name was service cost center. So operating cost center, actually it is a main operation of the company or manufacturing unit of an entity, and support service cost center is a support services to main operation. There are few examples in CAS-01 itself, like if there is any welding shop, the support service will be the maintenance of that welding shop. If there is any machine shop, the powerhouse of that machine shop has a support service. If there is any assembly shop, then stores. If there is any operation theater, then help desk is the support service. and if there is any call center, then there is a transport for call center staff members. So there is an always a main operation, and to which there will be support service operation also. So this is the example tested even in match the following are MCQ. So you should know, okay, welding shop के लिए maintenance is the service, support service. Machine shop, powerhouse, assembly shop, stores, operation theater, help desk, call center, transport facility for staff members. Then cost object refers to product, services or activity is the cost object. Object means product, service or activity. Cost unit means unit of measurement, that is UOM. So cost unit is a form of measurement of volume of production of a product or providing services. Cost unit is a form of measurement. How you will measure? If there is any production or if there is any services provider, there should be a form of measurement. So here there are example also given in CAS-01, that is if there is any power megawatt, it will be measured in megawatt. If there is any cement, metric tons. Automobile, numbers. And if transportation, tons, kilometer, ton kilometers. Okay, now coming to the main part of CAS-1, the basis. What is the basis of classification of cost? So you should know this. There are 5 bases which is mentioned in CAS-01, how it gets classified cost. So by nature of expenses, by traceability to a cost object, by function, by behavior, or by operation or production process. So there are 5 bases of classification of cost: by nature of expenses, by traceability to a cost object, by function, by behavior, by production or operation process. Okay, so to start with, by nature of expenses, cost is divided into 3: material, employee, expenses. Material cost, employee cost, expenses. So there are 3 classification under by nature of expense: material cost, employee cost, expenses. There are different standards for material cost also, employee cost also, expenses. We will cover in detail as and when we cover those cost accounting standards. Just note down, for employee cost, the old name was labor cost. Okay, then by traceability to a cost object, cost is divided into 2: direct, indirect. I have just presented in a common flowchart. Direct is divided into 3, indirect is also divided into 3. So direct material, direct employee and direct expenses. Okay, same way, indirect material, indirect employee, indirect expenses. And also you should know this: direct material plus direct employee plus direct expenses is known as prime cost. Correct? You might have read this in inter level. Same way, for indirect cost, indirect material plus indirect employee expenses plus indirect expenses is overheads. correct, is overheads. So 1 mark question they will test. Classify cost on basis of traceability to cost object with example. So you should give this example also, telling like what is what. And you should know that direct material plus direct employee plus direct expenses is prime cost. Indirect material plus indirect employee plus indirect expenses is overheads. Moving forward, by functions, there are 6 classifications. One is production or project, administration, research, development, selling, distribution. So totally 6. Okay, production, project, administration, research, development, selling, distribution. Here you should note few points. One is production is for manufacture and project is for services. Old name for this is actually works overhead or factory overhead. Okay, old name. So again I'll repeat, by functions 6 types are there: production or project, administration, research, development, selling, distribution. So production, it is also known as for manufacture, project is for services. Old name for this production or project is works overhead or factory overhead. Now there are few queries might be raised here. Research and development cost used to be an expense. Why here it is a separate? So there is one history behind this. Note for research and development cost. I'll just write down. Actually, for research and development cost up to 2008, the R&D cost was a part of administration overhead. Okay, R&D cost was part of administration overhead. Then what happened from 2008 to 2014? R&D was separated from administration overhead. R&D cost was separated from administration overheads and was shown separately as R&D cost. Then from 2014 onwards till present, research cost is shown separately and development cost is shown separately. Okay, same way for selling and distribution there will be a doubt. Before we used to show selling and distribution as together. So here also same. From like up to 2008 it was selling and distribution overhead. It was also disclosed as one name, selling and distribution overhead. Okay, but from 2008 up to, not up to, after 2008 actually, till present. Okay, so after 2008, selling overhead is shown separately and distribution overhead is shown separately. Okay, so if in case selling and distribution overheads are insignificant, then the selling overheads and distribution overheads may be combined. May be combined and called by the term marketing overhead. Okay, marketing overhead. Very important 1 mark question. If in case selling and distribution overheads are insignificant, then it may combine and called as marketing overhead. Okay, moving forward, by behavior, it is by fixed cost, variable cost, semi variable cost. At final level, no need to explain in detail what is fixed cost, what is variable cost, what is semi variable cost. Then by production or operation process, totally 5 classification is there. In this, name itself will give you the 2 classification: operation cost, process cost. Other 3 is batch cost, contract cost, joint cost. So totally 5: batch cost, operation cost, process cost, contract cost, joint cost. Okay, then presentation. So there are some ground rules to present when it comes in cost statement. So how you will present cost items, you should know. First point says cost items in a cost statement shall be presented based on relevant classification only. Based on relevant classification only. So very important, whenever you disclose any cost item, you should consistently follow from period to period. Okay, you cannot change as per your desire or as per your wish. You should follow what cost accounting standards permits to do, which allows to do, you should do. So any cost item in a cost statement shall be presented based on relevant classification only. So basis of classification is very important when you classify the cost item. If it is a direct material cost, you should show it as direct material instead of indirect. You should not show direct as indirect, indirect as direct. Same way, anything fixed ho, variable ho, semi variable cost ho, or whatever, batch cost, product cost, joint cost, contract cost, any cost as per the basis you have to follow when it comes to disclose in your or present in your cost statement. And please consistently you should follow. You should not change from period to period. It should be consistently followed. So disclosure, if there is any change in cost classification, that can be made only possible if it is required by law or in compliance with cost accounting standards. So if in case you want to make any change in classification of cost, it shall be made only if it is required by law or cost accounting standard, or such change shall result in more appropriate preparation and presentation of cost, then only it is possible. And if you are doing so, you have to disclose as a note of, as a part of notes in your cost statement, telling like why you have made the changes. So that changes is allowed, but only if it is by law or by cost accounting standards, or it is for an appropriate preparation and presentation. Only if this is the case, then it is fine. And then if there is any change in cost classification which has a material effect on the cost of a product or services, shall be disclosed. Okay, shall be disclosed. So if there is any change in cost classification, and due to such change, if there is any material impact on cost of a product or services, it shall be disclosed. So quickly revising the basis of classification. So there are 5 bases of classification: by nature of expense, by nature of expenses, by traceability to a cost object, by function, by behavior, by production or operation process. So by nature of expenses, 3 cost is divided into 3: material, employee, expenses. By traceability to cost object, cost is divided into 2: direct and indirect. Direct material, direct employee, direct expenses, all together called as prime cost. Indirect material, indirect employee, indirect expenses, all together called as overheads. If by function, 6: production, project, administration, research, development, selling, distribution. By behavior, fixed, variable, semi-variable. By production or operation process, title itself suggests 2 names: operation, process. Other 3: batch, contract, joint. Okay, so these are the 5 bases of classification read along with presentation and disclosure. So here we end up with our CAS-01, fully theoretical only. Next topic will be CAS-2, which will not only be theory but also we are going to see problems also, practical problems also in CAS-02. Thank you so much.